Hi, I'm Dave O'Connor from Lancaster Newspapers. I also do the CrossRock blog at lancasteronline.com. We asked some nice folks from here at WJTL Radio to talk about their favorite memories of creation, and they have lots. Let's take a listen.
I pretty much grew up at creation, so I knew what the creation experience was all about. The thing I love about creation is that at the end of the night, everybody comes back to the campfire. You all have the same main stage experience. There's no phones, there's no stores, there's nowhere to go, and it really is the place out of time. And so from that sense, I always thought creation was great because you actually did get away. Everything else of the world that was troubling you or that was front of mind took a back seat, and now you could focus on the Lord or focus on your relationship with Him or whatever is going on at the campfire that night. You could all talk about, this is what we saw, this is what we heard, and discuss it.
I've had the privilege of being the Kids 10 host for the past, 4 or 5 years. And so that's a huge highlight now. And some of my favorites would be the Donut Man celebrating his 30th years at the Creation Festival. And it's so fun because you have all these college-age kids and kids in their 20s that walk by the tent and they start screaming, the Donut Man, because these kids grew up with him. So it's a lot of fun to see how even that children's tent has affected kids throughout the generations that would now be much older.
My experience with creation actually started as somebody just going to the festival from church. I grew up in New Jersey, and a group from the church was heading out to the Creation Festival. We'd seen the flyers and the brochures, and so my first memory of creation was actually showing up just as a camper. Somebody who had never been there before, wide-eyed, seeing everything, enthralled with everything. What was special about that was also the time that I had given a little cassette tape of a small radio show that I did to WJTL, and it resulted in me getting hired here. So Creation 85 has that memory for me. And then I think the best memory I have, though, when I think back of my creation memories, and I went from 85 to 95 in some capacity or another, was in 89 when I was working with press in the press tent, bringing in the radio folks and TV folks for artist interviews. And that was the year of the rain. That was the year of Mudfest, we nicknamed it, and the deluge of water. And when I got to see it, though, even though they had a lot of programs canceling, even though so many things, we had tractors pulling cars out of the mud, the thing that stands out to me was you had this water rushing down and literally washing tents out, contents of tents out, and you had people who never met before, people who didn't know each other, were saying, we have food, come over to our tent, we have a dry place to sleep. They were sharing, they actually, not that they became it, but you got to see the body of Christ function.
Well, I did grow up going to the festival, not every year, but my family would take us. Some years we'd camp, some years my parents got smart and would get an RV or something. But I remember when DC Talk flew in on the helicopter. I was there when they rode those Harleys in down the side. And I was also, I don't know why all my memories have to do with DC Talk, but I was there the year that they said, we're not breaking up, we're just all gonna do a solo project, don't worry. And then they kind of broke up. So I remember a lot of those things, and those are like burned in my memory. They were so exciting. There's nothing more exciting than being in that huge crowd, people sitting all the way up the side of the mountain or hill or whatever it is, and experiencing these great concerts together. So much fun.
I've spent a lot of time working at the Front Gates area and had a lot of fun with crews of teams that I worked with, and I love that aspect of just working together with the volunteers and just having a good time together serving, and then also enjoying the concerts and just the full experience at Creation.